All right, everybody. Happy hump day. Happy hump day, and welcome to another edition of the Dating Diaries. I am one half of the Dating Diaries, and you guys know the other half is, of course, Scorpio Mo.
What's happening? What's happening?
What's good?
Happy Wednesday, everybody. What's up, Christal?
Oh man, you got something that looks. What you got there? What you got there? Which you got? Is that a glass of Merlot?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's blueberry Stella Rose.
Okay, I do like that as well. Okay. I do love Stella Rose. Stella Rose. In fact, today I had a long day, and I stopped by CVS and I had to pick up a prescription. I was like, you know what? I probably should get me a bottle of Stella Rose, but I'm on this hard 75, and so I can't drink anything.
What is that? What is that?
75 days with no liquor, no fried foods, no no sweets like I like. You know, I could put agave nectar on my veggies, but no sweets. Have to work out twice a day, and you have to read motivational a motivational book for at least 10 pages a day.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw that hard setting. I didn't know what it meant, but thanks for explaining it to me. I got you.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. I think I just jumped into this. It might have been an emotional jump, but I do wish I had some blueberry Stella Rose, but I do not. I have.
When did this trend come? When did this thing happen?
What?
This thing, because like I said, I've seen it printed, but I didn't know what it means.
I don't know about the trend. I know that you know what? I will tell you guys, one of the things that one of my weaknesses, because Lord knows I have a lot, but one of my weaknesses is I have a hard time with self-discipline, specifically when it comes to eating, right? Okay. That's one of my biggest weaknesses. Is just like I'm an emotional eater. I like to snack. And I'm gonna let you have it because I saw your eyebrow raise over your glasses. I saw it.
I don't say nothing, but you put an extra on the snack. So
I do. I like to snack, and I got to do better.
Damn it!
Hey, Valerie. Hey, babe. My honey bunny is in the room. Linda V. Marriott.
What up,
Juicy G, of course. Our girl Linda V. Ty snatched me all in the chat at 3 minutes in. That's a great thing.
What up, Linda V? What up, Gumballs? What up, Juicy? What up, people? What's up?
But I said, yeah, I'm very, hey, D Brown, so self-discipline is something I have a hard time with, specifically when it comes to food. And so what I decided, that's one of the things I don't like. I also want to get more organized, just like I have like a creative brain that's kind of all over the place. So I don't necessarily care about the fad. I'm just trying to get myself more disciplined. And so for the first time, I went to the grocery store. For the first time, I had my cart looked like a healthy person, and I felt proud of myself. I didn't have any cookies. I didn't have any chips. I had a cart full of veggies, and I do have these prebiotic poppy sodas that you can, because I like carbonation, and I got like carbonated water just to kind of give myself that that fizz that I like with soda. Okay. I wasn't really a soda drinker, but I've become one over the last, I think, because Gun Boss is really a soda drinker. Sugar Pie is here. I thought Sugar Pie. There she is. She was hiding behind. Come here, Sugar Pie. Do you want to show the people? Now, Sugar Pie's in her maternity wear. Not Gun Boss is eating a honey bun right now. He is not helping me with this. Sugar Pie is hiding her pregnant belly here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, we've got our maternity gear on because she's ashamed. She's ashamed of what has happened. and she's huge. She's a lot heavier than she used to be. But yeah, guys, we should have puppies in about 4 weeks. So
Woo.
I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what they're gonna look like. But I'm trying to get myself in a better place.
I got you.
I'm trying to get myself in a better place. And I actually was proud of my cart because it just had so many vegetables and so many. What's up, Jackie Spencer? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that's what I'm doing. So that's why I am drinking a purified water today. But I really do want a Stella Rose glass of water.
I like the discipline part. I like I like it all, but I like the affirmation part. I sent you a couple of affirmations, I think, last week.
Yeah.
But see, I'm glad you said it because people laughed at me because I'm very disciplined. I'm very structured, and people laugh at me. But it helps me through my, I need that. If not, I'll be off the rails, and I have to. That's the only way I can stay, and color in the lines, and it works.
Yeah.
But
So do you have, like, is there anything that's like a weakness for you? Because I know you're not a sweets person. But is there anything that you like to do that's not necessarily healthy that you struggle with sometimes?
The hose on the garden hose when you plug it up.
No, you had it right the first time, and you was right.
I can never unscrew it off the faucet thing for the second.
No, it is. Women is a weakness for you.
Not really. Not as much as you
It
think.
used to be.
Not because I had nothing else going on at the time. Once I got stuff going on, it's something different. Is it distraction? That's a great question. I'm sure I do. I'm sure people. I guess you that might be one you just point out. I'll let other people point that out. I don't. I try to stay in but. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm trying to think.
I think you got to be self-aware. I think being self-aware is a big thing.
That's how I got here. Is because of not. You see what I'm saying? Not doing those things. That's how I got to this place of the affirmations and just feeding my soul. Even though I watch a bunch of stuff on the phone and whatever else is on TV, I tried to feed my spirit with something else, especially starting off my day.
Yeah. Well, I'm into all that. I definitely, spiritually, I think I just know for me, food is something I wanted to get under control, and then making sure that I'm exercising is a part of life. As you get to another level in life, you start to see the the error of your ways, and so I'm definitely on that journey. But but I was proud of myself for the first time because I did not have. Usually I'll have like a lot of good stuff. Like I eat good stuff, but I also will have like some lemon Oreos. The Oreos that have the lemon filling, or maybe like I just something sweet in there, and I had none of that in my cart.
You like grapes?
I do. I bought a bunch of them now, and plums, and but I also like, Raisinets with my popcorn.
Okay.
Can't have any Raisinets, so I just got plain popcorn. But anyway, that's the journey I'm on, trying to keep from
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm working at it. I'm working on it.
Hey, man, starts off with a try.
Yeah, but this is so my daughter did it, and I just jumped in with her. But I was like, whoa, 75 days is a lot of days. It's a lot of days.
Yes, it is.
I'm on day 3. On day 3. But anyway, before we get into tonight's conversation, and we talked about it, I think it's going to be fun. I wanted to ask what you thought in the chat, what you guys thought of this situation that's happened on social media. Now, I want to just preface this by saying we've had conversations. I know Mo and I have really had conversations about, like, what if you are in a situation and a woman gets pregnant, right? And the man does not want the baby, but the woman does. And then also in the same token, there can be a situation where a woman gets pregnant, the man wants the baby and the woman doesn't, right? So I know we're in culture, in this social place where it's like the only person that matters is the woman. But it's not necessarily like that, because the man has to be involved with the rearing. So if I get pregnant and Gun Boss doesn't want the baby, but I have the baby anyway, then he has to give money every month for child support, right? So that could be where he may feel like his rights have been violated. Anyway, it's a sticky situation. And I wanted to talk about this situation. There's a basketball player named Anthony Edwards, and he made a historic move by paying $1 million, $1,080,800, I'm not sure, what is that? $1,080,000 in child support all at once, covering 18 years worth of payment. So what this says to me, Morning Juice Box TV, shouts out to them, they have it here. That is $5,000 a month, 18 years. He decided to do it all up front and said, off you go. Off you go. And I said he wanted to wash his hands of her and the baby. And also, my first thought is she's going to run through that money in the next year, 2 years. I would give her 2 years tops. I wouldn't even give her 3, maybe not even 2. She's going to run through that money unless they have something in place, unless there are stipulations in place where the money has to be spent on the baby. So I wanted to open up and ask the chat, and you, what do you think of that? He obviously did not want to have a baby with her. She obviously wanted a paycheck. And so the result of that is she got a huge paycheck. He's been able to wash his hands, but the baby is not even really considered in this. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm glad you said that. 50 Cent had a line where he said, have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire, right? So I think he split the difference. The child is technically paid for. I mean, the expenses are paid for by him. Mm-hmm. I think there should be, and it probably is, because the child's a minor, something in the place where she just can't blow all the money. It has to be a certain amount.
I hope so.
I really do. But there's also something else that wasn't mentioned in here. I've seen mentioned elsewhere, where she moved to California so she could file there to get more money, because it's more money in California. But they would not let her. The judge saw through it, and they had to take care of it here in Georgia. So that already lets you know what type of time she was on, right? I just think that if he didn't take care of it all, they call him a bum. If he didn't want it, like, I think he split the difference. He doesn't. It's hard. I would tell him, and there should be something here. Stay away from that child. I don't care if you, that child becomes famous, richer than you, does something, discovers a cure for an illness that you have.
Right.
You can't speak to that child. Like, you've done that. You've done that. You can't come back like Shaq's daddy and none of these other people. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. Because it very well could go the other way. He has a change of heart later, and he's got to deal with that.
You know what? Let me, not to cut you off, but I do want to mention, Linda V, you're right, and I should have mentioned that first. To add context, he paid for her to terminate the pregnancy. He gave her $100,000 to terminate the pregnancy. She took the money but did not terminate the pregnancy.
Yeah, you got
and
it.
So that adds definitely needed context. It's just, so it definitely lets you know, Anthony Edwards, the basketball players who we're speaking about, hey, you there, and just wondering what you all thought of this. He gave the child's mother $1 million, basically 18 years of $5,000 a month, which is what his settlement was. And to me, that says he just doesn't want anything to do with her or anything that has to do with her, child included. He wants to wash his hands of her. And I also wonder why the judge was not harder on her with her using that $100,000. I do think she should have had to give that money back.
Because I feel like the judge knows she's going to run through the paper. Like, and it's a judgment on that cat. That's a character thing. So he realizes that. That's the reason. That's probably another reason why they couldn't do it in Cali and moved in Georgia. But your doubt. Listen, if the man paid it for that and he thought that was it, then and she took it on those principles, then I don't see anything wrong with what he did. Then now he might feel, like I said, down the line. He might, and that's on him. And I would say you should have there should be a no contact clause. You messed up. You might have, or whatever it is.
I don't know. I mean, that's so hard. That's so hard because I understand that, we gotta understand that, what happens when you let your attraction and your lust guide you, right? When you are not, as Mo says, when you're not the master of your desires, and you end up with a woman that you don't respect and you don't like, and she now is the mother of your child. Well, the problem is everybody is focused on the money, but that child is now going to know. And I think I've shared this already on this channel. My father did that, but he didn't make anywhere near that amount of money. He had a smaller amount of money. And he was like, he gave my mom a certain amount to basically not have to deal with paying child support. That is hurtful to a child. I know how that was hurtful for me to hear. And I just think that the court was not taken into consideration. Child support becomes all about money for the child, as opposed to support. It should be a collective effort. So it should be financial, it should be emotional, it should be physical, right? So that's a problem that you're not considering in that support. It's basically you just paid for the baby. You paid for the child. You're not realizing this is a human being.
But you got to tell the court that when you go to court in there, that's all that is. They don't care about if you see your child. You got to go to a whole nother court for that. That's what that's is.
Crazy. That's crazy. I think that's crazy.
So I'm glad you said that, because they don't tell you that part. When you be like, well, support is more than money, go to the court and tell them that. And they were like, well, yo, give me the money and you got to take care of that somewhere else. Now that this court is about money, I'm telling you.
That's wild. And I know every child that you see in a situation like this, where the parents are not together, which is most children, the child is hurt because the father doesn't want to see them, or the father doesn't see them, or the mother in some cases doesn't see them. The child is not necessarily only hurt or focused solely on the finances, because child doesn't really understand what that is, right? So it just bothers me that nobody is thinking of the child. She's using the baby as a way to become rich and to get attention. He is also irresponsible, because if you didn't want her that much, you had no business laying down with her. And then the court is handling it like it's a payment and not a life. What in the hell is going on?
Welcome to child support.
That's crazy to me. I just think this is, I just wanted to hear what you guys thought, because I just think that is horrible. It is still that child. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. I really don't even want to know anything else about this case, because it's going to be heartbreaking. I already know. I could tell by the way she's moving. I could tell by the way he's moving. He doesn't want anything to do with the child. The child is going to feel rejected. The child has rejection on it from the time it was conceived.
Can I say this? They already knew he didn't want it. That's the reason why she knew that. That's the reason why she took the money. You can't go down and be like, well, you knew I didn't care when you took the 100,000 and we had a deal. So now you want me to care after the deal? No, we had a deal. I stuck to my end of the bargain. And matter of fact, I paid you $1.1 million. You see what I'm saying? This is like, it is messed up. And the child suffers more than anybody.
Hey, you there says, hey, that's untrue. Child support includes how active you are, because if you're active, you don't pay as much. I don't believe that is true. I think what happens is if you share custody.
Think that part.
That means that you have to go through and the court has to say that you can have joint custody, which means the child has to stay with you. And I do know from my own personal situation, my husband was paying child support to a mother that did not have custody of the children. He had custody.
There you go.
At one point. So it's not necessarily like, it's very, very just, we just need to redo these laws. But my thing is just, you don't pay as much if you have joint custody, meaning if it's shared custody, but in most situations, the mother has primary custody, which means she has the children for the majority of the time, and the father has them on off days. Now, there are couples that go fight and they have joint custody. That's the only way that I have ever heard that the money is reduced. That's the only way. Because what the court is looking at is this person is providing for the children. It is all upside down and ridiculous. But I just wondered, in all those comments, everybody is focusing on them and the fact that he paid her this lump sum. A lot of men are championing him. A lot of women are championing her because, oh, she got the payout. But nobody is thinking about that 5-year-old child who's going to ask, where's my dad? Why doesn't my dad want me?
No one wins when the family feels.
There you go. Go on, Jay-Z.
That's.
But I think that we need to teach men not to be ruled by their penises. And I think that we need to teach women to go get your own, and don't make laying down with a man to get a baby a career.
Gotcha.
And I hope the court has put something in place so that she is not able to run through that money. Because if I see this girl out with a BBL and a whole,
it's another thing you didn't mention. There's an age difference. She's an older woman. Let's get to that too.
How much older is she than him?
I don't know. I know she's in his 30s. He's in his 20s. I think she's in her late 30s.
He is young, dumb, and
in your 20s. That's what you are.
He is wild. He is wild. Hey, you there? So that was little baby's baby mama. Is that true? Does she also have a child by little baby?
I don't know nothing about that. I don't know. But there are women that seem to make a career out of that too.
Wow, not his first baby. Is that his first? Because if that's the case, that's wild.
Yeah, man. I don't know who's baby, but there are women that celebrity baby, that kind of thing.
There are. I mean, look at the girl that has the baby with Bow Wow and Future,
and somebody else,
and an athlete. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, not to get too much. I just wonder, what are we doing as a culture? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I feel for that child. My heart goes out to that child because that is just a horrible way to start. A horrible start.
That child becomes successful.
But even with success, we were just saying, like, people that are successful, their issues don't go away because of success.
No, but I just hope they have a better understanding of life and they find a cure for something that the daddy has and and don't give him the antidote. I don't know.
I mean, but the mother either.
Yeah.
You use me as a come up.
Oh, isn't that half of
the mother doesn't need respect either. I just, that is ridiculous. If the father gave you $100,000 to have an abortion and you took it, as opposed to saying, I'm not going to do this, you took it.
Right.
That's that. Anyway.
And bought a bag with it, I'm sure.
Probably bought a few things with it.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be, posting pictures of, and attracting more men. But the thing about it, it's hard to feel sorry for these men because so many of them repeat the same situation. Look at the guy that has a child with Drea.
Ooh, young man, young man.
It's hard to feel sorry when y'all keep going and y'all keep chasing.
No, that's the thing. Like, you could get there and you can see how many you can see the blueprint on how not to do this, and that's how powerful this thing could be.
What is this thing?
Huh?
What is this thing?
Attraction, the sex thing, all of it bundled up. It could be very, for a young man, especially if he has a master's desires, it could be, it's so powerful that in the league, as a rookie coming in, they have, obviously he didn't take them, or he wasn't paying attention. They have classes talking about this very same thing that they implemented maybe 10 years ago, whatever it was. Dion had the famous woman that was with a lot of people when she went down to Jackson State and talked to, this is like a real thing for young men. This is how powerful this thing is.
I think it's attraction, and I think but I feel like our laws need to be re-examined, because number one, I think a man's rights should also be considered.
Yeah.
On both sides. And because it's like, it takes two of us to make a baby, so why am I not included in the final, the final decision? That's not fair. Brittany Renner, ma'am.
Yes, that's who it was. That's who it was.
Yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily trust her to. I mean, she's definitely has had the experience and was running through some athletes, like, you
got to hear them say it. You got to, Dion brought her out there. You got to, like, they got to feel it's real, even though they still might not get it, but you at least got to present it to them and let them know that they do have a choice. A lot of them there, they got this money. They've been visualizing her in high school. Now she's here in my hotel room.
Or the look. I think what we have done is and I guess that may be a man thing. I'm not a man, so I can't say, but a lot of them idolize this look, that they always think this is the way the baddest chick looks. So then when they get that chick, they have not been taught that beauty is not only skin deep. And so when she acts like this, but she looks like that should not be. I also need to be away from that, but that's not what I've been taught. And then these women, somebody just needs to hold them accountable, because you're not going to use my son as a way to take advantage of the fact that he worked his behind off. Right. I don't like it.
Did you see the mother? Please, some of y'all saw this clip where the son was going, I guess he's going to pro, he's a big deal in college. And the camera was on him. They're watching another game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, continue the story.
Watching the game, there's a pretty young lady next to him. They both talking, and her eyes are dreamy. He's looking down on her. Cut to commercial, come back. The mother standing in between them.
I saw that. I did see that. Yeah.
And that's what it takes. Sometimes that thing. What do they say about the Jezebel? Like, this thing has been going on forever. This ain't. Mm-hmm. We just got social media and the news spreading. None of this is new. This has made countries go again. Like, this is for men. This is nothing new. I don't know what to do, but it's not new.
It's not. It's not. And Gun Boss mentioned something. He said, look at the before and after pictures of the girl from the 911 call about the hip hop artist Scooter. We talked about that. She had a horrible situation that happened in Atlanta. A young lady, I don't know if she was angry with someone that was there, but she placed a false 911 call and said that a woman was being physically abused. Mm-hmm. And it was the mother of the Commander's quarterback. Wow. Another athlete. So this woman called and made a fake 911 call. The police came and at them going after the young guy started running. The guy that started running was a hip hop artist named Scooter that Gun Boss was close to. He worked with him actually when we were together for a few years. He ends up dying, but this is all because of a false 911 call. So the young lady was arrested. Thank God, because I just feel like I want to say, I have women's backs to the end, but there have been so many false rape and DV allegations, so many false harassment, that at some point women have to be held accountable so that they are no longer thinking that this is something that they can do. I talked to a young girl that said, I just faked like I was hit and hit myself and called the police and told the police the guy did it. And I said, you could cause this person to go to jail and change the trajectory of his life. Like, we have to hold women accountable. I did wonder why he would run, Dee. However, regardless of why he ran, he did not deserve to die, because she was upset and trying to get back at them. Like, it just reeks. But R.I.P. the Scooter and his family. I hope that justice is served when it comes to that case, when it comes to the police, and also the young lady who placed the false call. But let's move on to something that's lighter. That was heavy, but I did want to ask what you guys thought about it. And I think we should talk about things that are happening on social media that most people are seeing, because this is the life that we're dealing with. And when you're talking about dating people, this is really what people are faced with.
Woo.
All right. So today's topic, 32 minutes in, today's topic is, have you ever been in a situation when trying to keep it sexy went wrong? So if you are in an intimate situation, trying to be cool, trying to be smooth, trying to be sexy, and it went horribly wrong. If you have experienced that, put a 1 in the chat. If you have ever experienced a fumble when it came to trying to be sexy. Now, in case you don't understand, I'm going to read a couple of options, okay? I'm going to read a couple of situations so that you guys can understand exactly what we're talking about. I read the comments on this post and I cried because in laughter, because see, we all have experienced this. This is for the grown-ups. This is for the after dark crowd.
Is in front of the computer on this time. Please allow them to leave the room.
Yes, if you are with your parent or child, and you don't feel comfortable, this would be a good time to leave, because we want to laugh a little bit tonight.
If you were here, Edna, you can stay. Good.
Edna can stay. All right. Here's the first one. This one was what caused me to say, let's talk about this. This is hilarious. Big Tink 429 on Instagram said, him texting me if I had both of my lashes. And when I looked, indeed, I did not. And he said, yes, they are stuck to my sack and I cannot get them off.
Woo, some strong glue. and the sack is very thin skin. Let's be clear. It's got to be dealt. It's very thin.
Is there a word we can say and said, I don't like that word? Maybe the peanuts?
Scrotum is...
Oh, that sounds even uglier.
The bag.
The bag. But what? That was hilarious to me. The eyelashes. I was nibbling on his ear and then had one of those deep burps that comes out of nowhere. No warning at all. Right into his ear. And he was like, yes, Satan. Started laughing. And that day was a good sport, because if somebody, that's not a burp, that's a belch.
Men are usually good sports when it comes to this.
A belch in my ear?
That is hilarious.
Oh God, these are horrible. I was on top enjoying myself with my mouth open because I was moaning. And he said, hold on, you have a cavity in that back tooth. He was a dentist.
Oh. What? You on the job? Come on. And y'all got the lights on? Come on, brother.
Oh gosh. All right.
Can I tell you two that I had? It wasn't.
I would love to hear it.
Now it wasn't me. It was the lady. I'm trying to think of one that I had. I'm trying to think. I might come up with one, but it's two. I remember. Now one was easy one. A ponytail came off.
That was the next one. They said pull my ponytail off and handed it to me.
I didn't hand it to her. I just put it on the side of the bed and kept going.
Were you shocked?
I found it loosening, but I'm in the moment. You're not, you just put it to the side, keep going.
What did her hair look like underneath the ponytail?
It's probably sticking up about this much. It had a rubber band thing on it. I took, that's it, We gotta understand, we're in mid-work. It ain't too much that's gonna be like, well, we just gonna stop.
See, I would stop. I would be so embarrassed. I would stop.
Now the other one,
let us have it.
How do I say this? She wanted to try something different. Which it's not really my thing. This is anytime this has happened, let me put this out there. It's always been upon request. I don't go around doing this. It's not really.
Okay.
But they wanted to try it in another entry. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Now, we practice safe, safe stuff.
Yeah.
But as taking it out, it was doo-doo. About the size of a dime at the top of the condom. And she was like, oh my God, I am so embarrassed. And Megan, so really, but this was in someone else's house. She was house sitting. She had to go over there and feed the dog and do something else and leave. He would meet over there on occasion.
Why would y'all do that in those people's house?
Well, it was somebody she knew, and we couldn't. It's not important, but I do remember that, and look, I was so glad because there would have been that stuff in the hole of me, and that would have been wrong. I think I would have got sick.
Did you get sick then?
Now I looked at it, and it was like peanut butter, and I was like, oh. She was like, oh my God. I stopped. That did make me stop.
I would definitely.
Now
oh my God. Okay. All right. He wanted to flip me over so I could get on top. And I'm a big girl. So he had to get his strength up. And he flipped me fast. I didn't get a chance to reposition and mount myself, and my knee went off the side of the bed and I hit the floor. She said, I looked up and he's looking down at me asking, was I okay? And then gonna say, it's okay, come on. Nope. It's time to go because your ass knew we were too close to the edge. Yeah, if somebody has to flip you hard, flip you fast. No.
We want y'all.
Oh, gun boss, I'm telling that. So
come on with it.
So gun boss is, putting in work. And then he had a Charlie horse.
It happens.
But then, so we were like, okay, let's wait a few minutes, let it pass. Because he was trying to still do it. Then he got another one. It was 2 in less than like 5 minutes. So it was just like, and I think it was the other leg. It was just, and I remember looking like, I'm getting you some bananas tomorrow. This is horrible. But it was literally like right back to back.
It happens.
It was
bad. It happens.
You've had 2? Have you had 2 happen?
I don't know if I had 2.
But it was back to back.
Had one, and it'd be like, hold on. I think they're doing something wrong. You got to get them away from you, or tell them to stand still, because they don't know.
He needs some milk. It was like he's a tall person, so he was just like the whole body. I was like, then it happened again. Tina, this is bad. It's bad. It's bad today. I laughed and legitimately farted. He told me to turn around so I could reverse cowgirl. I fell off and farted on the way down.
Oh boy, he ain't stopped. Whoever put that out there, bet you he ain't stopped.
I moaned his name and he said, "Yeah."
Hey, I know some people that. How was the yeah? Was it a passionate like moan yeah, or was it like how I used to refer to it as someone talking through an intercom in the drive-thru?
Or a regular voice. We're talking like what about if you say something and you're trying to be sexy and someone hits back in a regular voice? You cannot use a regular voice in the moment.
And you can't say what you say, just go along with it. Whatever it is good. Just say yes. You can't be like, huh?
Oh, I tooted in my ex-husband's mouth. I don't like that.
You know what I just thought of? What if I was with the hearing impaired lady and I asked her something, she'd be like, what you think?
The whole shower curtain and the pole fell and hit me on the head. He found toilet paper.
Oh, seen that before.
Oh man, that means that they're not doing a quick cleaning check.
Yeah, that's what they do when they say they got to go to the bathroom real quick, fellas. That's what they're doing in there.
Yeah, of course. The condom came off inside and he had to go get it out.
Been there too.
Yeah.
Got it with these 2 fingers.
Oh no. I was trying to ride and ram my head into the wall and knock myself out.
What the?
I called him by his roommate's name.
Oh, now you deserve to get. Man, let me not say that. Yeah.
What?
Something need to happen to you. Yo, that's you.
What does that mean?
You super violated.
Oh my God. So he was dining from in the South region, and I was trying to hold in gas for a while. I guess I relaxed a little too hard, and he stopped and politely said, "Let's take a short break." Not let's take a short break.
How do you bounce back from that?
I don't know.
I
don't know. I don't.
I did see a pair of undergarments I was displeased with curled up on the floor. I did see that.
Why were you displeased?
I was just displeased.
Were they big?
Oh no.
They were dirty?
They were soiled.
I looked down at my wig. I was orally entertaining my guy, so I tried to get a little extra flexible and do it upside down. When he looked down, my wig was on the floor like a puppy, sitting there like a puppy.
Stay in your lane. Don't do no extra stuff unless you're super confident and nothing's gonna come.
He asked, "Who's daddy?" I said, "I am." No, I mean you are.
Sometimes it can get confusing in the moment of what's going on. You're so
Yeah, but I don't think you stop. You just keep going. I was literally rocking the mic. This man started having chest pains and started convulsing. I called 911. They came and shocked him and then rushed him out the door. I finally got to the hospital, parked and went into the ER. And then when I got there, one of his family members was going to say, "So you're the one that gave my nephew a heart attack." That's horrible. That would be traumatizing.
Hey, I will say this, as all jokes aside, a man, a lot of men have had aneurysms in climax. That happens a lot. That's when it's high. Trust me. I know someone that's happened to and lost everything. I mean, he was cheating on his wife when it happened. But
he had an aneurysm, meaning, but he did not die.
No, he didn't die. He was in the convention in Vegas and was with some woman, and that's how I found out that that's when men are in that climax period. That's when we're more subject to an aneurysm, and it happened to him. And it was in Shepherd thing here, rehabilitation. He owned a business. I worked for him, and he was blind in one eye, and he was recovering. And in the meantime, while he was in the Shepherd Hospital, his wife was filing for divorce, getting all the paperwork ready. And I just say that I'm thinking about when you was like he had chest pains, but yeah, that's a real thing. It made me think about aneurysms in men. That's when we're most likely to have one.
Wow, that an aneurysm. A lot of people pass from those. That's troubling. We were trying to go for light, and it got dark. Gun Boss said, "I had a friend that had a girl say slap me, and he did, and she started having an asthma attack."
Hey, you might be able to catch a chop. Ooh, that's crazy.
So I have a friend that happened to. He said the girl kept saying, "Hit me harder." And he was like, "I don't want to do that. Your son is in the next room. What if he thinks I'm hurting you in here?" Like, had a family member pass out after it and not wake up. Oof. But see, I've heard men say that they would want to go out like that.
I mean, they probably joking. I don't think they really.
I don't want to go out like that.
I mean, that's how you came in. I mean, listen. The first time a woman had tried to get me the flight attendant, by the way, I was such a punk. I was scared.
To slap her?
No, to choke her.
To choke. Oh, we've talked about this choking, Mo. You in this light choke.
I got it later, but the first person that told me to do that, I didn't know what was going on. I never heard of it, and they was like, "Put your hand," and I didn't know, so I'm hovering around the neck. I'm not really. She was like, "No, put her hands on top of my hands." I'm like, no. I don't know. That it scared me that first time.
We were doing the deed with straight eye contact, and I farted. He froze, laughed, and farted back in response.
Do women have loose gas when this is?
I think that because of the way our bodies are, I mean, because, there can be pockets, and then if there's a lot of motion, it can cause those pockets to, you're getting a lot of.
I'm glad you said that. Okay, Ghost, Amari Hardwick, and the woman Angela that played Angela, where they talk about they had a scene and they had just had lunch. They come back to supposed to have a sex scene, and she passed gas.
Wow.
And they talked about this on a talk show, and they laughed about it, and they had just had lunch. So maybe that's it. Women should be a grace period after.
No, I mean, you just have this. It doesn't even have to be because you ate. I mean, if there's a lot of pressure, consistent, that's not that. It could cause air bubbles, and sometimes it can be it can be not in that area. It could be air in the other area.
That's true too.
I had that happen. That's embarrassing.
That's true too.
Nola said I slapped one guy and he slapped me back. Yikes. Okay.
What is slapping? People.
Well, I think sometimes it's the power and the control, people like.
I'll slap my ass. I ain't slapping nobody's face. I'm not doing that.
Yes, Sunny Rain, that is the word. I gagged and threw up all over him. Ugh. And I know a lot of men like that.
We like the sound and the noise.
Why? Explain to us why.
I think it's an ego thing because it's, so grand that it makes you, and it makes us feel like you're really into it. Like no holds barred, you got little tears coming out,
That should not, the fact that men think that's attractive and that's a good thing is very unsettling to me.
It ain't for you.
It's not for me. It's not. Because I'm just like, why would you like the fact that I'm having a hard time right now?
Why would y'all like the fact that you're sitting on someone's face? You don't know why people like what they like.
Well, I don't. And I do wonder why, because men always request that. Women don't ever say, men request. And I know I have a friend that, she may be a little bit of a heavier woman. And the guy requested, and I'm always like, are they able to breathe?
That's a fetish, I guess.
I don't know.
It's a category in Pornhub. That's what they say.
Someone said that he said, "Are you daddy's princess?" And I responded, "No." My wig came off. He put it back on and kept going.
He put it back on him or her?
He put it on him.
Because I'm a joke. I'll put it on me if I don't.
He did. He put it on him. Oh my God.
There you go. There you go. Hey, but people are into whatever, who's to say what turns other people on? I've heard some weird stuff. And you think, how does that turn? Like, I never understood the foot thing, the sole of the foot, but that's a real thing. People,
yeah, there are a lot of guys that are into feet. I feel like this. I feel like if you're with someone that you feel comfortable with, this is a funny little thing, but I think that the point of this is you should be with someone that you feel comfortable with all the way around. So if something happens like that, then it's not, if you're with someone that you love and that you guys are comfortable, it's not going to be bad. Edna asked, what is the topic? Can you tell Edna what the topic is, Mo?
Oh, Lord, Edna. I have to to this woman. No, I want you to, I can't do it.
What? Edna, the topic is, have you ever, when trying to be sexy goes wrong?
Oh, okay.
There could be things that happen when you're in the mood that end up being funny.
And I know you got a few of them.
I know I tried this, because there's like hair removal things, and it ended up burning me and the other person.
Mm.
Well, yeah, it was like a Nair-ish type thing, and I thought I had gotten it all out. I hadn't, and he was like, "It's burning! It's burning me." Sorry.
Yeah,
I do think T who says you got to match they freak. I think that people should be equally yoked and equally compatible when it comes to what they like in the bedroom.
That's a fact. I think if you have to explain it too much, or you have to try to, because I don't know, man. I kind of want it already made. I don't want to have to convince anyone to be doing something they want, especially at this age. You don't already come with doing that, or try. I don't know. I don't think.
But don't you think? I think that Edna, did you give us one already? No. Okay. I was just like, what is happening?
Daddy thing, like when for a man to want a woman to call him daddy is weird to me. It's always been weird. I never understood that. It's creepy, but some dudes really get off on that.
What do you like people to call you?
Write my name. There we go.
You don't like it?
Either Kyle, Mo, either way, but don't let or whatever name that they kind of, if it's a real term of endearment or whatever, you know, hopefully it's a name I earned, but I don't want no name that you already did someone else or the.
But what if it's like a cutie name and you don't want to call them that?
If it was for me, if I found out you used to call your ex babe too, then I don't want it. You know what I mean? I don't want it. Me personally.
Yes, he gave us his government name in there. I thought he didn't want to do that, but yes, hey, you there? He did.
Said it. We've been talked about that. It's all good.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
All right, Kyle.
Well, that's what I don't like.
I know. That's why I did it. Duh.
Yeah, but they don't know. Now I'm explaining it to them because that's the thing. It's not Kyle. It's Kyle. Anyway, it's Mo to y'all. Let's get it.
Somebody was giving oral pleasure and their head went a little too close to the candle on the nightstand.
Whoa.
So he started slapping the hell out of my head. And I'm thinking that he's trying to be, you know, I'm thinking, ooh, this man is different. Unbeknownst to me, my hair was on fire. Yes, like Kyle Barker.
No, not like Kyle Barker, like Kyle my.
But I liked Kyle on Living Single.
I think he's on the other side of the thing.
He is, but no one knew that when he was on the show.
We didn't.
I didn't. I thought your name was Morris. That is hilarious. We only recognize one Morris. I thought it was Daryl. See, they didn't know. No. You must be talking about another show that you said the last name.
It is all good. I'm not
Daryl Morris. That is crazy. I like being bit. Okay, what about what do you have, like something that you like, a fetish or something?
You talking to me?
I'm talking to you, yes.
Yeah, I like them.
You like what?
I like them to get the gooch.
Kane is upset by that.
Me too.
Kane is upset by that. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah, y'all.
You like them to get all right, NLE Moper, because he does have a song about that.
What happened?
NLE Chopper talks about that in his song.
Yeah, I didn't, but that's a real thing. And once I got turned on to that, I was like, yeah, there you go.
Edna said it must be the dog in me. What's happening? Not like the song. I don't see what happened. When I was dating my ex-husband, I brought my dog to his house. After we did the deed, we took a shower. When he sat on the mattress, it was wet. My dog had urinated in the bed. Yikes.
Whoa.
I think the dog was probably pissed at what he saw going on with his master. And he was trying to, because dogs will do that to kind of like mark their territory. He was like, that's mine. Yes. Hey. I'm trying to think. I'm not really like that.
Do people play sleep music anymore during that time?
I do.
Yeah.
But what if a fast song came on? Do you have to match the tempo?
If it's gangster, you can get a little gangster.
What if you're in the mood and it's happening and all of a sudden something that comes on that's like, all I want to do is zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Like, I mean, something fast. What do you do?
Hey, in that point, you should follow her lead at that point. Because you want her to feel comfortable. I don't want no woman to feel uncomfortable.
I don't want to do Still Dre. Hey, that choke me and I choke you back. They made a song like that. Kiss me and I'll kiss. That is. I remember that. Who was that?
Digital Underground, yes.
Digital Underground, yes. Shouts out to Digital Underground.
Rest in peace, Shot G too.
Fingertips on the hips.
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite. When I was in college, that song came on. Man,
that was I Get Around.
I thought I was doing something. Fingertips on the hips. Yes. I don't know. I think you have to be with someone that you feel comfortable laughing with, because really being sexy. Like I remember I tried to do a striptease to Red Light special, coincidentally, and it was like way before I even started working with TLC. I can't do it now because it just feels weird. That was one of my go-to songs.
Okay. I think when you do things like that, I think you have to do I can't speak for all men, but I know some, and talking to some brothers I know, a woman has to introduce that early in her arsenal.
Why is that? Because I've heard so many guys say that they don't want their wife to do a striptease.
Because we don't know you as that. And now here it is, 7 years in, 5 years in, you want to celebrate. And
she's trying to take it up a notch.
Nah, we want all our notches in the beginning, and we accept everything. And now we want that throughout the whole thing. If you add something new, it almost feels like it's just weird because we don't know you as that. Come as that, and we'll know you as that.
Hey, that'll be hilarious. That is the perfect song with the tempo. Like that song is crazy over Baghdad, and then you're just like, first you're into it, like take my money, like a Jodeci, and then all of a sudden it goes to Outkast, and it's like, I have to turn that off. It's gonna throw off the mood. Strip teases are never sexy, Cancer Baby says. I felt like it was. I felt like it was. It might not have been.
You can't laugh at them. You gotta encourage them, but in the mind you'd be like, because they tripping over their stuff, and it's just weird.
Have you had one from a real stripper at home?
No, they didn't do that. They got right. No, I didn't.
They got right to the business.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't recall.
What is up with that?
What?
This is a place where we share and we're honest. We listen and we don't judge.
I think I'm just sleeping with strippers.
But you have.
You know, back in the day, but they never did. They never did that. But when they were in motion doing what they were doing, they were moving as such. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That is true. Like, because some women you think on the dance floor the way they dance, but when it's actually happening, they don't move like that. That's a very big misconception. Thinking that someone can dance a certain way so that's how they are in bed, and that's not true. That's not always true.
Except with the strippers.
Yeah. The few I had been with back.
Of course. Way back. Can't even remember. Probably it's just so few. Yeah.
I was about to say so.
See? What about, so I do have to share with you guys, and I'll post this video tomorrow. I did talk to Taronda Jones today from the Never Ever Mets. And moving on to another topic. So I talked to her about the upcoming episode is this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be talking about it Friday at 10. But I asked her, she didn't really give me a lot of information, but I asked her what did she think of last season, and did she think there were some people there that were not authentic, and she said yes. I also asked her, did she feel like they handled the situation properly with the women speaking disrespectfully to the men? And she said that she felt like with the physical situation, both of them left. But I don't know. I just felt like last season I was shocked that the women were speaking like that to the guys. You remember that? You guys remember the girl calling the guy out of his neck, calling him basically a bitch.
Right.
A woman calling another girl's man that felt strange to me.
Right.
The point of the never ever mets is to connect people who have only met online, they've never met in person. And to me, I just think it's kind of BS because I can't imagine in this day and age people that have not actually met. But I will say, I do think everybody has someone that they flirted with online that they have never met. And you think you kind of know that person because of the conversations you've had online.
True.
Do you have someone that you have flirted with online?
Liking pictures, it may be a heart or something, but never actually picking up the. Nah, there was a situation where somebody actually picked up the phone, and they were on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I remember talking to them. We're still cool to this day. Never met them.
Okay.
Never met them. Way out in I ain't gonna say where they at, but West Coast, and not. Okay. But and we never met. We just stayed super, super, super cool. I sent you something too. Check your phone.
I did. I just saw that. So let's talk about that a little bit. So Chris, who we all know was on Ready to Love. We talked about the fact that he's going to be on. He was on Ready to Love. It was Dallas.
Fort
Worth. And because he was before the last Dallas cast. And he was the curveball, remember? And a lot of the women thought he was very attractive. And he actually, after the show ended, I guess he was supposed to be dating Maya, who was LaRon's love interest, but she dumped LaRon, we know. But what do you think about that? So to me, it's weird for him to show up on this show because he was on another own show, different producers. But it feels like he just wants to be on TV. What do you think?
No, 1000%. But I think that's why they tell you to like keep your face clean with the producers. They never know. Producers might have pulled you in, thought you didn't get enough time before, or you were misunderstood, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. They keep that door open. They might pull you into something else. It's all it's all owned, right?
It's all owned, but it's definitely different production companies. But you're right. I could see a producer saying, wow, he was on the show. A lot of women liked him, but he left early because he didn't really have a connection. And he didn't have a connection at the end. But when he came on this show, a lot of people liked him. A lot of women really liked him. He seemed really down to earth. So I don't know. But Linda says, I saw the intro of the couples on OWN and said they were talking for about a year. So I'm not sure what the timeline is like. Obviously, the Fort Worth show was a while ago. And then even with Dallas, with Maya, he and Maya were supposed to be connected, but he and this girl were supposed to be talking for a year. But to me, like Linda says, flirting back and forth online and being in a relationship online are different.
That's fair.
So maybe he and this girl, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt until we see otherwise. Maybe he and the other girl have been kind of flirting back and forth, which if you are in a relationship, you should not be.
That's my point. If you want, right.
If you're in a real relationship, you should not be talking online. Let me ask you this. If you were in a relationship, let's just imagine that Scorpio Mo has a woman. And it's been 6 months. What do you consider cheating if you're having if a girl hits you online and she likes your picture and she's like, oh, you look nice today, or say it's someone that watches a show and they're like, oh, you look nice last night. How far can you have a conversation where you don't think that it's actually it's cheating?
I don't say nothing that leads on anything. If they compliment, I say thank you and kind of keep it at that. Don't say anything leading, anything flirtatious. You can still be nice and cordial but even that still has to be a limit because it can seem like you're keeping the door open and you're giving this person possible hope, right?
So if she said you look nice, would you give her a compliment back?
Nah, I'll keep it. I thank you and end it. And then anything past that thank you, I know what that is. So that's the problem. Yeah. Or you the subject, but you don't keep going. Thank you. Fifth's on the show. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. That's it.
Yeah. It's I like that.
It's happened.
When you were in a relationship?
It just happens, period. I don't really, it happens.
Yeah. Hey there said he said on Ready to Love, he did say he was an actor. He did, but this is not really acting to me. To me. Y'all let me know what you think. I don't think reality TV is really acting.
It's not, but the same agents send you out for both.
Nah, not if they know you want to be a serious actor.
Right, that's true.
If you want to be a serious actor, you're not doing, Ready to Love and The Never Ever Met. You're not going to segue from that into being in, the latest Ryan Coogler film.
Right. Well, you got to do maybe not the big boys, the Wayne Morrises and all those, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you got an agent in Texas, they probably just like, hey, we just need to keep your face on TV, period. He's a good-looking guy. Somebody may want him. Tyler Perry may pull him to the side,
That part.
And you can get, now I haven't seen that. Any guy who's getting a lot of attention on television, Tyler Perry will definitely pull, his studios, I don't know if it's him doing the casting, but his casting agents are always looking for very attractive men.
But they
are. So Noah says, what's the point in all the extra flirting? Are you going to meet? See, that's my thing. Like, I do know people. There's a couple of guys I've met online before I was married that there would be a little flirting back and forth, but I didn't ever take that seriously. If I was going to go on a show, I can understand that. I just don't understand saying that you're in a relationship and you've never met the person. To me, that's not possible.
If it's two different coasts, I think a lot of times you have a bad day and here's someone you never meet, but you always have great. There's no reason to be mad at someone to have an issue. Never going to see him, never go on a date. Mm-hmm. I've seen the energy and people get caught up. It's very few people that actually talk about booking flights, but then some dudes, I've talked to someone and they talking to other people and they'll tell me like they want to fly me out or they flew out to somewhere. I don't care either way because I'm not in a relationship. I might.
But I think when you meet someone online, like you said, you're not going to get upset with them because it's kind of like a fantasy, right? It's not real. And then I think that's why when you meet them in person, it's like it's either not what I thought it was or what it was. Now, when I talked to Taronda earlier, she said that it's easier to keep up a representative online, obviously. And it's just when you meet someone in person, you can't. It comes to a screeching halt.
That's true.
And I think that's true. I think there's something about physical presence and looking somebody in the eye that you can see if they're lying, if they're not. Like, it's just different than it is online.
Very true.
But I do know that there were guys that I did flirt with, but it really was like an ego boost. Not like I really would take them seriously. Just like somebody that makes you feel good. If you had a bad day, you may tell them, man, they're like, how you doing? I had a bad day. And they cheer you up, but it's not like somebody that I would never be like, oh, I have a boyfriend. He's my boyfriend. That's weird.
Yeah, that would be weird.
That is weird. But I mean, that also could just be for the show. Out of the couples that were there last season, I didn't believe any of them.
Yeah, I didn't either. The funny thing is, because some of them I follow them, they follow me. It's just interesting because then you really see the Hollywood stuff that they really want to do.
Yeah.
Do with dating. You can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the guy that was really worked out all the time and he was with the girl, oh my gosh.
You talking about Chris?
with dark kind of chocolate skin.
No.
No, and he was with the girl that was Haitian, and they were both Haitian.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about down in Florida. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, and he was just, I think that he liked her, but I think that he liked her for, like, he wasn't ready to settle down. He was on TV trying to be, you know, anytime a guy has his clothes off and all his pictures online, anybody who's online without clothes.
I forget that brother's name. I know exactly you're talking about.
Yeah, it's unserious. It's unserious.
Sweet.
She was very sweet. The religious guy and the bigger lady seemed. Aaron, I don't think Aaron was real at all.
Oh, God.
I don't think Aaron was real at all. I think we busted him several times.
Man.
We had so many disjointed, toxic conversations with Aaron on here.
He licking that lady feet on national TV.
He licked the lady's feet on national TV. He did. But remember, we pulled up his videos where he was trying to be on a YouTube, have his own YouTube channel before. Yes, and he did have painted nails. He was supposed to be a Detroit pimp. I didn't like it.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I would love to see if we should try to reach out to them and see if where they are now. We should try to reach out to them. If anybody has I have to look up his Instagram because I was following him for a while. We should try to have him come back because he was hilarious.
Other guy was on Tasha K recently.
Which one?
He was on the guy we interviewed from Chicago, the light-skinned guy that they said was about to put his hands on that woman. They got kicked out early.
Why was he on Tasha K?
I ain't stay to watch that whole thing now.
Well, damn. Yeah, that guy. Because remember, when we interviewed him,
right.
He was very, he was supposedly had money, and he was in his. Yeah, I literally looked him up yesterday.
Yeah, he
hilarious.
Was Tasha K. The other was it earlier this week or later?
So all these people are just reaching out for opportunities to be on TV. They just want to be on TV. They just want to be and reality show. And I'm not mad, at the hustle. Just do what you need to do. But this season, I think it's going to be better. I definitely feel like there's more. It seems like the couples have more chemistry than last season. I feel like last season there was nobody that was really, besides that one couple with the guy that we felt like had taken a vacation, and the girl and the young lady that looked like she needed a makeover. They were like in the bathroom the first night. Remember he was lighter skinned guy, darker skinned girl. Yeah, they looked like they were physically very attracted to one another. Yeah. I agree with online is a placeholder. I do. I think for me, it just allowed me to. It's just like an ego boost. It's not for real. It's not serious. It's not serious. I don't even think I would take a person serious if I was meeting them.
So what's the difference between that and long distance then?
Well, I think long distance it starts with something that's real, and you guys make a plan. To me, this is how I think this works. And when I tell you, I think you should consider it. It's because of this. I think you spend time talking to the person, you get to know them, and then you guys have a plan. Whether it's, okay, we're going to see each other once a month or every other month. And then if you guys really do like each other, then you have an ultimate plan to where we're going to end up in the same place. I don't think it should just be like going together forever, long distance. I think you have a plan. And I think when people start to date long distance, say you're dating someone that is in that is, 3 or 4 states away, you set a schedule. Thank you, Tammy. You set a schedule. You say, hey, every 6 weeks we have to see each other. So we're going to make sure that we do that. Because I feel like when I was dating here, I could date someone and not be able to see them except maybe once every 2 weeks because I work a lot, especially if I was traveling or something like that. One time I was out of state for like 3 months at a time, shooting a television show. So I think as long as you guys have a plan, we're going to see each other and then if we decide that we are going to be a part of each other's future, we're going to decide what does that look like so we can ultimately be together. It's not just long distance in perpetuity. So like for you, there was a young lady I think I thought you should have went out with that was like in the Carolinas, right? I don't know if that's where I think that's where she was.
I'm listening.
So that's not far. Like that's a quick, I have a girlfriend that's there. And even as a girlfriend, I try to make sure that we see each other at least, for the girlfriend, maybe twice a year. But if it was my boyfriend, I could say if you're in the Carolinas, that's a drive. So maybe we take turns driving to see each other every couple of weeks. Twice a month, we see each other. That's not bad. Because if you're single already, then you could be getting to know somebody and then you see that person and you enjoy them. I think really finding true love is hard to find. I think a person that really makes you better and that you really enjoy, I think that's hard to find. That's authentically a great fit for you. So I think if they're 5 hours away, it's worth it, because eventually they won't be. You guys work out together, say, okay, well, for me, if I did it, I'd be like, within 2 years, we have to be in the same place, right? So what does that look like and how do we get there? And this is what we need to be working on to get to that point where we can be in the same place, whether it's me getting myself together so that I can move where that person is or them coming to here. Like, you got to figure that out. But it allows you to really like plan and take your future seriously if you are, because you could be if you're in Atlanta and the person lives in, if like for me, I'm in Loganville. If I was dating someone that lived where you are, right? We live far away, but we're friends and we see each other, right? So, I mean, like, I think you can make it happen if it's worth it.
I knew someone that met a woman online. She lived in Charlotte. He lived here. She's originally from Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. They would meet in Greenville, South Carolina, to the point where they wind up getting seeing each other every other week and every weekend. Then she moved. They got an apartment together, and then from the apartment they bought a condo, and then they just got married last November.
Beautiful. See, it can work.
And I thought that was a dope story. So I never thought you met him. You met him before.
Okay.
And yeah, so I just thought that was interesting that they took those steps, and I think they met during the pandemic.
I think you have to be intentional, but I think you have to be intentional even if you are dating someone that lives in the same city. You, at this age, we all have different things going on, right? We do this show twice a week. You may meet someone who does something else. You have to be intentional about, what you want to do with your life and making that person a part of it. Tammy says military couples do it often. They do, but I also hear
couples I know was cheating. So
I do hear a lot of military couples cheat. I do hear that, but that also may be part of the culture. So, Godspeed to them. But
I would the effort. Like, I'm not opposed to it. It's just getting over that first hump for me, because I tap out in 2 weeks. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna keep doing this.
But I think if you talk to the person and you guys are having a good conversation, that's everything. And I will say this, I will share this, and you already know this, but I will say this to you, because a lot of the conversation, a lot of times, is you and I just talking, right? So I will say, my husband's mom was in the hospital for the last week, a little over a week. We have really been going through it, right? We've been going through it with our families and just trying to be there for each other. And I can say that, I was single for a long time, and I was not willing to settle. So I wanted to stay, I would have stayed single if it wasn't the right person. But I will say, going through all the things that Adrian and I have gone through as individuals, at least having each other to lean on has made it so much better. I know that I have a partner that if something happens with my family, he's there, and vice versa. We're helping each other navigate life. And so I think for that reason, I was talking to, I had an interesting conversation at Disney, right? So one of the guys I'm friends with that was there, he's in his early 40s and he says that he's ready to get married, right? He's just at this point, he's flipped the switch, he's ready. And I was like, okay, what do you want? And he's like, at this point, somebody's daughter, I'm gonna be somebody's daughter gonna have my last name within a year. And I hear a lot of men say that, like they just get to the point where they're ready. He's had a lot of women, now he's ready, right? At 42. And I think that with women, we romanticize things, but a man, so he probably met some girls in his 20s and 30s that really liked him, and he did. We talked about this, and wanted him to be serious, and he just wasn't serious about it. And now he is, right? So he's really excited and like he's ready for that. That's the focus now. I think a lot of times we have to take off the romantic glasses and realize that it really is like if a person is ready, that's when they're ready. And then whoever he runs into while he's ready is probably going to be his wife. He probably ran into a lot of girls when he wasn't ready that could have been great wives, might have been prettier, might have been a better fit. Pretty much whoever he runs into now that he likes and he can get along with and is not going to be too mouthy, he's probably going to marry, right? So I think that that's just life. Then in the same token, there was another young lady there, and it was interesting because she was telling me, she's like, I know that I'm very difficult to date. And I was like, well, if you know that.
Thank you. Hello.
And she said, but at the end of the conversation, she was like, she's not prioritized marriage and she doesn't really prioritize dating. So she knows, we all know what our issues are, right? We just don't always want to say what they are. So I would just say to you, just as, your friend, you're one of my best friends and have been for a very long time. It's not that I want you to have a woman just to have a woman. I see what Adrian brings to my life. Mm-hmm. Being with the right person. And I want you to have that. That's it. It's not just any woman, because Lord knows I don't like most of the ones that you date. But the right one that I feel like would actually be a good support to you and would actually life is hard, man. A lot of people are going through a lot of things, and if you have someone that has your back and you're their priority, it can make it a little bit easier.
Well, when they show me that, it might be
but she may not live within a 30-mile radius to you.
Still ain't seen her. Or I ain't had the time to see her. To put it, like, I know women in other places, but it requires time to spend with them. And if they live there and I live here, we don't really have the time. I'm aware of some things, but
if it's a woman that you feel like has good, like, I want to say good bones, like the conversations make you happy,
right,
then it's worth trying to figure out what that could be.
That's true. That's true.
You know what? Hey, you there? Not necessary, ma'am. Not, oh Lord, last time I heard this conversation was my 70-year-old uncle and an older confidant who prayed over me for a husband. You know what, ma'am?
Get your ass off this thing. That negative talk, woman. We trying to be.
Always got a smart ass comment. But this young lady told me that she was difficult to date because she does not prioritize the guy. And so, of course, you guys know me. I'm doing deeper dives. So what do you mean? What does that mean? So it came out that she did not see a good example of marriage, and she doesn't necessarily want to get married. And so men are picking up on that. And it's funny because a lot of the men that she dates, she doesn't make them a priority, and then they do her. So it's almost like people always want what they can't have.
That part.
Where the girl is like, please send me a husband. Please, please. Nobody's calling her line. You know what I mean?
Hey, it is what? It's about two women that I thought I would have been ready to do it. They ain't want me like that. So, you know what I'm saying? You can say all you want to do. They still have to be, it has to be both ways. You can want it and do it all you want. It still has to, to come the other way and then want to do it with you, you know.
But I do think people that have commitment issues are usually attracted to people that are going to not make them challenge those commitment issues. So wanting what you can't have makes you safe. Like with this girl, any guy that's chasing her probably has commitment issues because she's not showing you that she really wants to be a wife.
I'm glad. That's great. If you ever heard, and I heard a friend of yours say this, it was like, I need someone that can handle me. That's a like what? Why do you have to be? That's a turn. Like, why do you have to be handled away? Like, that's just the same as what you were saying about the other lady. What she said, like, what was it?
I'm difficult to date.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like. And
yeah, to me, when she said, "I know I'm difficult to date," it sounds like you don't really want to date. But I know the truth up under that is probably a girl that's scared of getting hurt. So she's trying to protect herself by being the one that's always, you know, it's most of us are afraid of being hurt and we act that out in different ways.
And that's fair, but to invest in that and try to dig through and uncover that and invest in that, I have to see something. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. Yeah. You got something. I'm just not just going to be there and just hope. You got to give me something to hold on to. Shoot.
Yeah, I agree. Edna got your back. She says Mo is ready. He just haven't seen who God has sent or God hasn't sent her yet.
Hey, y'all be I'll be laughing at these comments. I think it's funny because y'all don't know me, so I'm not mad at y'all for saying what y'all saying. But that statement is true. That statement is true.
But so Linda says she's probably not in the package that he likes. What do you think about that?
And here's the other thing. Like, I get a lot of assumptions on what I like, what I do. Like, they got a whole storyline, and half the stuff is not even true. They don't know. You know.
But you are particular about looks.
I'm particular about a lot of things that I do. Not everything. Let me not say that because that sounds like I don't know. Not as much. You've seen a couple. They weren't all.
But you have a certain look that you like.
I have a certain lot of stuff, but I like different things on different women. If that makes sense.
But they all look the same way. See, mine looks so Adrian looks totally different than what my type was, right?
According to Christal, they are. I'll put it to you this way: my son's mother and daughter's mother look nothing alike. Height.
Well, that was before I met you, so.
Height, complexion, none of it.
That was before I met you. I'm talking about since I met you. But I'm saying, so with me, I stepped out of my comfort zone, and Adrian doesn't look anything like the guys I dated before.
I'm staying somewhat in my comfort zone. Me personally.
Well, he fit the physical side. Really?
That was delicious. I'm almost finished, by the way.
Okay. All right. No, hey, you there. You don't like your cave. We want you to come out of the cave. Come out of the cave. You and Mo come out. So Steve says, Mo, tell us what is your type? I think I should have my friend that. Is there anybody in here that is the dating age of my friend that is 42? Because I told him I'm going to introduce him to some ladies. Is there anyone that is around the dating age of the 42-year-old that, they are on you? Mo, what is your type? Answer the question, Mo. Mo, what do you like? Answer the question, Mo.
My type is you, baby. Diaries, man. Be honest with you. Different women come with different things. So, conversation, funny sense of humor. One that takes pride in her appearance. It doesn't have to be a supermodel or anything like that. But just take pride in whatever it is that you have.
Give them the type. We know slim, thick. I would say like 5'5" to 5'6".
I would say for about 5'4" to 5'7". See?
Okay, that's not. I mean, okay, That's not a big difference. That's not a big difference. Not matronly, old Gail.
Now listen, here's the thing about the old names. They weren't old women. They just had old names.
No, there were some old women.
Well, I didn't go out with them, but there were some old women.
You did.
Cool. I didn't go out with the lady with the bad back. I didn't go out with the celebrity childcare lady. I didn't do that.
You went out with one of your girlfriends was older, and you found out later.
Now that's true.
Okay, I'm not lying on this man. I'm not lying on Henrietta and Gertrude. It damn near there was a Gloria.
Gloria liked me. I didn't go out with Gloria.
What was the lady's name that?
What's her name?
I don't want to get to.
I know you're talking about.
What was her name? Hey, Christal.
Was that the one that gave me the Bible?
Yes.
They like to pray for me. That's one.
Was her name Dolores?
Dolores. That's her name.
Oh Lord. Loretta Berlin. You know what? Y'all are hilarious. Hattie Mae. Let's come up with a woman for Mo. But I'm telling you, I just want you to do this for me. Can you do this for me? Hey.
I'm listening.
Can you open up and consider long distance?
I can consider it.
With a plan.
Well, you can't meet somebody and have a plan. You got to get to know them.
No. I'm just saying, if you meet someone who is not in state, would you not just rule her out if she has things that you like about her?
Yeah.
Is your type Kenya Moore? Marriott asked.
I would take Kenya Moore down, possibly. I would take it down. I'll look into it.
That's not what she asked. Is that your type? Not would you take her down?
I would be. She's an attractive woman, but I got it. Y'all just stuck at y'all part.
Is she your physical type, sir?
She's one of them. She's one of them. I like different. Y'all keep listening to Chris. I like different types.
He likes delicious.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't marry and settle down with Delicious. Have a great weekend with her. Well,
would you marry Gail?
Depends on. I don't know. Me and Gail got to talk. Some tell me Oprah will be hating on me.
That is hilarious. He said something tells him Oprah would be hating, and she probably would.
That's the problem.
Portia, I think Portia is his type.
I can't get past that's the problem.
Portia from Real Housewives.
Not believe it or not, it could be her. It could have. I think what's the name is an attractive woman. Lil Wayne's ex-baby mama.
Toya.
Toya, she's an attractive woman. It varies. Don't have. It could be. Please don't listen.
But have I said anything wrong? What have I said that was wrong? Why you keep telling me not to listen to me?
Because you just making the thing like they're all of them look alike that I like. That's not true. That's not true.
Okay. All right. He likes slim thick.
I mean, because I'm thin. But I like.
Is he slim?
Yeah, man.
He doesn't like. There are some skinny guys that like really thick women.
No, I like a little thickness in the right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you something, and it says, "Do guys like this?" And it's like, yes. And I'm gonna show you.
But you like with Deanna, I've never seen you date someone and take them seriously like that size.
Like who?
Deanna on Ready to Love, the really thick firefighter. Okay, Christal says she loves slim men. Okay.
You know what? Okay, yeah. Thank you. Hey, man. Hey.
But I've never seen you with one of those size women.
I went out with him. I messed with him. Matter of fact, there's one out of town like that. Why you playing?
He says, I'm going to say, Tommy, I'm going to say he's willing to travel 4 to 5 hours. That's what I'm going to put on him.
I'll put a 3 on that.
3 hours? We can't. How many states are we? We're still in Georgia.
You see what I just sent you? 6?
I can't. My phone is dead.
Oh. Yeah, and it says there's men like this, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Put it up to the thing so that everybody can see.
I don't know if you're going, because it's in black. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it.
Oh, we can see it. Yeah, I think, but that's nothing wrong with that. That's just a normal woman's body without a shaving on.
People think I don't like that. I'm like, what?
I think every man likes that. Mo, do you like Asian or Latino women?
You know what? I ain't gonna hold you. First of all, Caucasian women are not my cup of tea. But if I can find, I guess I'll be open to it. Any of those, if they were mixed with black, I do half and half. I don't know if I could do the whole thing. Keep it real with you.
Okay.
Like I like color. They gotta have some black in them. I'll give them the other half.
Okay. All right. I know 3 hours is not even in North Carolina. It's still in Georgia. We're not gonna.
I saw 2 profiles. I ain't gonna say who. This the thumbnail pictures. I'm like, I saw kind of what drew my attention. I ain't gonna say who.
On here?
On here.
Oh, now, well, we already said we're gonna have to just do it. We're gonna have to have a For the Love of Mo.
Yeah, but no, I don't think they. I'm gonna keep it on here. We family, so that ain't gonna happen. But I'm just saying, I saw there's some attractive women in the chat. I really want to say
it is. It's a lot of beautiful. Our chat is beautiful. Yes.
Very.
And I love the fact that we have such diversity.
That part.
Yeah, we have people from all over the country, all over the world, really, which is crazy. And it's really cool. Now she'd probably be in the chat. Probably do. But I just, and that's for everybody. I think that life is too short and too difficult to spend with someone that does not make you happy, and to spend with alone if you don't have to be, right? Because when you go through things, I'm just saying, like, I have so much fun with my husband. We have a lot of fun. We're like 2 kids together. But in this time with us dealing with parents and dealing with family, it is comforting to have someone who really has your back. And, his mother was sick. He couldn't go. I was there for her. And I feel like I'm the other half of him. When my mom needed to come from Colorado, I couldn't go because I had to work. He went and got her. So I think I just want to share that that's another side. And it's also not the side. Christal sounds like older relatives probably are. Okay. We're all related in some way. But I think that that's not what people are talking about on social media. People are talking about, oh, okay, well, get him for the money, and the money doesn't have anything to do with him driving to Colorado to get my mom. Money has nothing to do with me being there for his mom in the hospital when he can't be there, when he has to go to work. So I think, it's important to get a team player and to understand that's really what a relationship is about. More so.
Right?
Say it again.
That comes in time. You can't see that. You can't see that automatically. That comes in time, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. But I also think that's not what the conversation is on social media. The conversation is get you somebody that can pay your bills. But it's really like, life is about more than paying bills. My daughter went through something and she needed, and my husband has always got her back. If his daughters need to talk to somebody, like those are things that money can't buy.
That part.
And I think that's what we don't talk about. We see, like, on Real Housewives of Atlanta, you see Shamia's husband bought her, and I just learned, someone told me on Monday, the car was almost $500,000 Rolls Royce Cullinan. But that's not, and I mean, that made her happy. But I'm sure when her daughter is going through health issues and him being there and holding her down, that's really what partnership is about. That others, it's collective, it's not individual.
Yeah.
I don't think that Black women should be paying their men's way, but I also think that Black women need to understand that there's more to partnership than just finances. Because there's some point when the money doesn't matter. It's about if you lose a parent or you lose a child or your health is in jeopardy, the money doesn't matter.
Somebody told me, if you're ever in the hospital, you see someone slipping away, they're not going to ask for, bring the car up to the window to the hospital so I can see it.
Right. Nobody, that Rolls Royce Color Man is not going to help.
Bring up the stack of money. Let me see my bank account online. You know what they're going to ask for? They're going to ask for people.
Or they're going to feel bad when the people aren't there. While I was in the hospital with my husband's mom, this woman came in to visit her, and I thought this was amazing. I'll end tonight's conversation on this. She came in to visit my mother-in-law, and I thought she was like one of the nurses, but she was there because her husband is in the hospital, and she said he's not coming home. He's not going to come home, and she needed to be there for him, but she also needed to get her mind off of that. So she came over to visit my mother-in-law. And I remember I was just like, this just happened yesterday, right? And I was like, wow, the fact that she could put her own pain aside and try to come and encourage us was beautiful to me. Beautiful woman. And she said they've been through a lot. They've had a beautiful life, but she's trying to figure out how to deal with the fact that he may not come home. Money doesn't have anything to do with that. At that point, it's about the memories that you built and what you guys have done. And the memories, the money is not going to be the thing that you remember. It's going to be the time with that person. So anyway, Edna says, I would have dated Mo in my younger days. Edna, I have a sneaky suspicion that you would date Mo today.
I would have gave you run for your money back in the early 80s, late 70s. I'll tell you right now.
Mo should go on the Later Daters. He should. I should try to see if I can get him on there.
You better not.
Because that guy, I want us to talk to Nate because I feel like he has Mo's issues.
He has what?
The same issues that you have. What did you think about Nate on the Later Daters?
What issues do I have?
Well, did you watch it? You watched it because we talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you think about the guy? Because he's very structured.
Okay.
Well, one of his issues you probably don't have. He had an injury.
Right.
That kept him from being able to put it down. But he had a lot. He was attractive. He had a nice house. He had, all the things that you would think a woman would want, but he just can't settle down.
Okay, I'm waiting for you to get to the part where me and him had the same issues.
That's it.
That's not because I'm single. It doesn't mean that I don't want to settle down. I have to do.
He said he wanted to settle down too.
I told you my next move
is my best move.
I have not.
I think he's like saying it because it sounds like a rap lyric. Noah said he was clearly settled, but didn't know it. I agree. But you know what, Noah? He's not, because he's not attracted to that woman. He enjoys the comfort that she brings, but he does not like what she looks like. And I do think that men need to be attracted to the woman. I told you guys I hosted this event where Dr. Heavenly and her husband was there along with Young Jock and his wife. And Dr. Heavenly's husband, Damon, who I really like, by the way, he seems very level-headed and just like a real man. He was like, you got to be really attracted to who you're with. Just end the story. Like, a man has to be very attractive. I shouldn't need to try to convince myself to be attracted or physically attracted to my wife. He has to be. And that woman that was with Nate, I don't feel he's attracted to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful, Tammy, that you have that type of memory. That's beautiful that you had that example for you. A lot of us did not have an example like that. Yes, Jock and Kendra are still together, and no, I can't ask any questions on how. But they are. People are going to change, but that's why you got to start out with what you like. You got to start out with what you like. And he said, and I think if you start out with what you like and you fall in love with that, then you're still going to love and be attracted to that person. He did make a kid with her, but look how this young boy that we just talked about earlier, Anthony Edwards, he doesn't like this girl. He had a child with her, but he doesn't like her. And I think that's the problem. A lot of times, just because a man will lay down with you, that does not mean that that's what he's super attracted to. And that's not necessarily what it doesn't mean any of that. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Right. Woo. Tough.
I know, sugar pie. My poor baby is uncomfortable. Sugar pie is dealing with her hoish ways.
You don't rub her stomach? That don't work for dogs?
I don't know. I haven't rubbed it. It's big.
You should rub it.
Oh, look at her. She's just laying there. This is not the sugar pie that y'all remember from before, is it? This is a total different sugar pie.
You're a woman. You're pregnant. You have pregnant friends. You got to give the dog the same treatment. It's a female too.
First of all, I did not even ask her to do this. Okay, this is what she did on her own. I'll be glad when these puppies are out of here. Nola says, "What if someone gets sick and doesn't look the same?" Well, that will happen, but I think that it happens after you love that person, you know what I mean? And then you see them through your love for them and everything you guys have been through. But I don't think from the jump, people should just get with people that they're not attracted to, especially men. I don't want to be a man that's not attracted to me. I do not want to be with a man that's not attracted to you at all. Pass me by, sir. And I know that there are a lot of guys that are not into short, thick, brown women. And that's okay, because there are a lot that are. So off you go to make room for the one that will be attracted.
There you go.
Oh, Edna. Oh, there's a challenge. A challenge in the chat, Mo. I would have turned you out in your younger days. All my men were younger than me. What do you say to that?
You got it, Edna. You got it.
I guess Edna is into the gooch.
It's the only way you can deal with me.
Well, we appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. Make sure you guys like this, like the conversation. And Edna, yes, you can still get Mo. He's still on the market. He's still on the market. Yes, he's talked about the gooch. He and NLE Chopper are into the gooch. You guys like this on the way out, and make sure that you tune in on Friday, where we will be talking about the new season of the Never Ever Mets. Never Ever Mets on Friday. We're definitely giving the side eye to Chris, who is back after being on Ready to Love Fort Worth and being in a relationship with Maya after she left Moran and being with her. And then all of a sudden now him and this girl were supposed to have been together for a year online. First of all, I'm giving him the side eye because I don't believe any woman would talk to him for a year online and not see him. So I don't believe none of that. But we're going to watch. We're going to see. Interview with Taronda will be up tomorrow. And then you guys, please watch the Never Ever Mets. Also, we're going to watch Somebody's Son. I've seen the first episode of that, and it's definitely interesting. Interesting is all I can say. But we're going to definitely watch it. And I have an interview with one of the mother and son duos coming up on Friday before we get into the Never Ever Met. So look out for all of that. I love you guys for watching.
Yes.
Mo, love you guys for watching.
Yes.
And please make sure to like this on the way out. We have one like, y'all. We have one like.
Come on.
I need to be putting up the little banner that says, let me put up the banner from now on. I got to put up a banner. I got to create one that says share, like, and subscribe. Because obviously you people need some directions or instructions before you'll do it. All right. We love you guys for watching. See you back here Friday at 10. All right. Have a good one. Love on each other. Love on yourself. And we will see you Friday.
Friday, y'all.